We got one more month left in the 2022 season. Tonight, it's the late model's biggest event of the year, the Paradiso Insurance Late Model 50. So the first half of this pit preview will focus on the late models, where Kyle Rickey standing by with the point leader heading into this race.
And Bonssa, we've been able to catch up with the current championship leader in the late models, Adam Gray, but you've never won a 50-lapper here at Stafford, and that was hard for me to believe earlier this week when we were looking up the stats. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think the best I ever did was second last year. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I've really ever won a long-distance race in this car. I struggled at Monadnock back in the day whenever we had a 50-lapper, breaking stuff. Never just bad, just, stupid stuff. One year we had wiring issues, and, it is what it is.
Do you drive a 50-lapper any differently than a 30-lapper, which is standard here on Friday nights?
I mean, if it's like a normal Friday night with cautions, you don't have to take it any easier, really. But if we're going to have if it's going to be a green to checker race, which early on in the race you can tell if that's how it's going to be, then you got to pace yourself, because it's really easy to overheat the tires and lose a little bit of the handling.
Now it is back to school night here at the Speedway, so we have some fun back to school questions that we're going to ask our drivers, part of this preview. And for you, we want to know, were you good at book covers, and how long did they last? Because there are kids all across the country now putting covers on their books. Mine usually didn't last more than 2 weeks. How about you?
Yeah, I would have to say mine didn't last long. They either had race car drawings on them, or they got ripped up from being slid around and abused. It's funny because I laughed a little guy. They were using tablets and laptops in school. I'm like, how the heck are you going to cover that thing up with an old newspaper,
Good deal. Good luck tonight, and best of luck on what has been a great season for you thus far.
I appreciate it, and thank you guys for tuning in and watching us tonight. And I guess we'll see if my little guy can do the big wheels of three-peat tonight. That's right.
Doubleheader for the Gray family here tonight with little guy on the big wheels and Dad on the big oval, looking for his first Paradiso Insurance 50-lapper win. Now let's talk to another driver that's still looking for his first 50-lap win, and he's also closest to Adam in the championship standings.
It's amazing to think that Tom Fearn has won just about everything he can win the late models at Stafford, but you really haven't had any luck in the 50-lappers. Why is that?
I don't know, just start further back. I guess we got more laps, but I don't know, just I like the sprint races, I guess. We're used to that, and the 50, I guess, is a little different. And I don't know, it's just another race as far as I'm concerned.
Now, you say it's a little different. How much does the approach change for you in a 50-lapper compared to a normal 30-lapper?
Well, I guess everything's been done already at the shop. Just our maintenance, make sure you're up on date on that and everything. And it's only 20 more laps, so it's not a huge deal. But just don't want any failures or any breakage or anything that is. That we can control, sometimes you have something beyond your control, but hopefully just no breakage and be there at the end.
It's back to school night, so we're going to have a school-themed question here for you. And for you, what was your favorite recess time activity and why?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I'd say in grade school, we were playing soccer, and I kicked the ball, and it went in the basketball hoop, so.
How?
I don't know. It was just out in the field or on the edge of the pavement or whatever, and it went in there, and everybody was kind of amazed by it, I guess. But that was days before cell phone cameras and YouTube, so there's no proof of it though.
So no videos means it never really happened, right?
If that's what you say, since you're the video guy.
That is true. We'll see what Tom Fearn can do and see if he can get his first late model 50-lap victory of his career. He's won many races before. He's sure as heck in a contender to win this one. We're going to talk to our defending 50-lap winner now. He's standing by with Kyle.
In Bonssa, that driver is Wayne Coury Jr., who won this event a year ago. Do you do anything different behind the wheel? 30-lapper, which is the normal Friday night distance, to the once-a-year 50-lapper?
Not a lot, really. I think it's just, you have to have a little patience, especially in the beginning of the race. But, last year the race went green to checkered, which was unexpected. This year I don't think I'm expecting the same based upon the past few weeks of races, but we'll see what happens. I think just a little bit of patience, but then, consistency behind the wheel.
Let's talk about this year for a moment. 3 finishes outside of the top 10 over the last 5 races. What do you have to do to turn your season around and kind of get back on the upswing?
It's been tough, and it's not for lack of effort. Pat and Gary and the whole crew, everybody's been doing a lot to try to make this thing faster. We've found some speed in the past few weeks, just haven't gotten the finishes, and just have to stay out of trouble. I think we could find it tonight.
Now it is back to school night, so we have some fun back to school questions for the drivers that we're talking to. For you, we want to know, did you have a favorite lunchbox as a kid growing up?
Oh, He-Man for sure. He-Man was very popular back in the day, so that was mine, 100%.
And what was usually packed in it?
Man, my parents made me make my own lunch, so it's just usually some kind of a basic turkey sandwich and a piece of fruit or something.
Well, best of luck to you here later tonight.
Thanks, appreciate it.
That's Wayne Coury Jr. coming off a win a year ago in the Paradiso Insurance 50, looking for 2 in a row here later tonight. Now let's talk to a driver who's coming off his best career finish in the SK Modifieds with Bonssa Tufa.
A couple weeks ago, we saw Jonathan Puleo score his best career finish in the SK Modifieds with a 4th. And that's 3 straight top 10s for you in 2 different cars. What's been the secret, I guess you can say, to how you guys have been performing better in these last few weeks?
Just preparing a little bit better, just knowing what you're coming to the racetrack with a little bit better, and just excited to get this car back, and just have everything kind of fall into place. Last 3 weeks been great, but it only gets harder from here. So starting a little further back, the competition's the best in the nation here, so we'll see what we can do. What's the biggest lesson you've learned in your 2nd year in this division, would you say? It doesn't get easier. These guys are just so good every week, every single one of them, and you come home 4th and you celebrate like you just won Daytona. So, it's great to get my guys up front, and just hopefully we can just string some more top 5s, more top 10s, and end the year strong. It's back to school night, so we have a back to school question for you. When you were in grade school, what was your least favorite subject and why? Math, by far. I can't add numbers at all. I liked history though. History was great. Math, not good. Well, I don't agree with that one, but that's okay. We can all have different opinions. That's Jonathan Puleo looking for 4 straight top 10 finishes and maybe back-to-back top 5s. Maybe his first podium. We'll find out tonight. Now we're going to switch over to the limited late models and SK Light Modifieds because Kyle's with a driver who's doing both tonight.
And that driver is Matt Scappini, Bonssa, who has found success in the limited late model and will make his SK Light Modified debut here tonight, driving and teammate to Joey Farino. Are you ready for this?
I think so. Yeah, I've always wanted to do it, and I'm really excited to be able to get in one of these thanks to Joey. So yeah, it's going to be, it should be fun.
How did this deal come together, obviously, with your relationship with Joey, but who called who?
I know we've kind of been talking about it all year, seeing if I can maybe get a race in, and it looks like we might be doing 2. So hopefully, get my feet wet tonight, see how the car feels. I've never driven one, so we'll see how that goes, and hopefully parlay that into next week and do well then.
As far as the limited is concerned, you won on opening day, but have been in a bit of a slump ever since. What's going to take to get you back to victory lane here in the last month of the season?
We've picked it up over the past couple of weeks, just a little bit of inconsistency throughout the year, but I think we have a good shot tonight.
And it is back to school night, so we have a fun back to school question for you as somebody not going back to school, but thinking back to your childhood. Did you have a favorite lunchbox when you were a kid growing up?
I have to say, I do not have a favorite lunchbox. No, I do not, sorry.
No favorite lunchbox. Did you have a favorite school lunch then?
I loved the pizza. I love like the rectangular pizzas. French toast sticks were classic. Yeah, I love that school pizza.
Standard.
Not anymore though.
Standard in every school across the country. Matt, best of luck to you ×2 here later tonight. That's Matt Scappini. Let's hear from a driver now that he'll be competing against in the limited late models, who is beginning to turn her season around.
A couple weeks ago, we saw Fern lead most of the limited late model race, come home in 3rd, but you said in that race that it was the best your car's driven in a while. What more do you think you need out of this car to return to victory lane?
I think that we have it in a good place right now. Before, for about 2 months, we struggled and we did a lot at the shop, so I just can't thank everyone enough who helped me out with that. It was really a lot of work to get it back to kind of close to what it was. It still quite wasn't what it was last week and, at the beginning of the year and all last year. So I think that we just need to fine-tune it a little bit today, and it will be a lot better. But yeah, we'll just do what we can and see what happens, because that's really the best we can do at this point.
Well, my next question is going to be back to school related. So if you could pick any year from K through 12, what grade would you go back to and why?
Probably none of them. Well, no, that's a lie. I think probably somewhere like middle school was great. High school wasn't so great because then you have to start like growing up, paying bills, having responsibilities. Middle school was okay. I know nobody like had a good time in middle school, but I did. So yeah, probably that. The school was nice too, and like the food was good for lunch. So yeah, but honestly, none of them. It's been a while since I was in high school or middle school.
You and me can relate to that. That's the first time I've heard someone say they want to go back to middle school. So there's a first for everything, I guess. But it is back to school night. You get to see the big wheelers in action for the 4th time this season. And you get to see all of our 5 weekly divisions racing as well as Alex Fern looks for her 3rd win this season, the Limiteds. And we try to find out who wins the late model Paradiso Insurance 50-lap main event. We're going to go to the booth now and get to Kyle Rickey as we begin our heat races.